I'm trying to get into it. So, okay, well, let me tell you what happened. What I found out happened years later, and nobody told me anything about it. But I began to surface this about this guy because he's starting to stop to a widow's house, and she had this beautiful little girl. So I thought he's going to molest her if he possibly can. So I'm going to have to tell. My conscience hurt me. So I started telling it. And instead of saying that I had been molested, I jumped ahead and said she had been molested.
Who?
I lied. I told her best friend.
Well, you're at the arbitrary truth again, right?
Yeah, I lied. I couldn't bring myself to say he did all this to me. I told
A white lie
her best friend
a lie.
that he did all this to her. So she went right over and told the little girl well, she was a little older than what I said. And of course, she was very upset at me and called me up and said she was going to sue me for lies and tell my parents. But 2 months after I started connecting this guy to molesting, he disappeared. And I found out later that somebody took a shot at him. Somebody tried to kill him, or well, come close enough to take a shot at him, and that's what I was afraid of.
You're still riding
Murder. I mean, you know, the thought that someone who has done something to you is going to be murdered for it. I didn't trust any of those people to.
You know, Wyatt Earp drank a lot.
Take him to jail. That would have been good enough.
And shoot people if he felt like it because he had a badge. You know, I mean, we all know about Wyatt Earp, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So what's the big deal?
Oh yeah, we just tried being in the middle of all of it. I thought, we've got enough bad stuff going on, we cannot have murder. But I thought, well, if this little girl's going to get molested, I'm going to have to risk it. I'm going to have to start telling. And then this guy disappeared, as if off the face of the earth. Well, I guess he left
town.
I guess he left town after somebody took a shot at him.
Well, that'd make me a little worried if I knew, especially if I knew the person.
And I know my dad. My dad could have gone and killed him and threw him over. Threw him over a cliff, and nobody been the wiser. But he didn't say that, you know. But this is what I feared. I just feared murder. I mean, I thought, well, isn't murder's going to be worse? He molested me. He didn't hurt me physically, but it was mentally and emotionally that he hurt me. He didn't go so far as to torture me. And I thought, now if he's gonna die, you know, I don't think I could save his life. If I told it, somebody might kill him. Somebody's bound to kill him. So you know, it was just like I had to be the one to say. And so there we go with.
We're going to have any prayers or anything like this while this is going on?
No.
Going to sing any hymns or anything that you could?
But
Remember in Sunday school,
I'm going to have to emphasize over and over that if you suppress everybody,
there will not be a collection taken.
If you make everything a sin,
I am not paying you anything. There's no collection here. Okay.
Okay.
Sunday school, you have to have money to.
If you say all people who are having homosexual relations, even if they're two adults, they're terrible sinners. You can't have anything to do with them. They're condemned. Well,
I never heard that.
Well, what do you think it is? What do you think?
Know.
That is the religious view of things. That if you're living a homosexual lifestyle, you're
from that part of the country, whether.
Well, that's the Mormon view of things. Isn't that the Lutheran? If they're against homosexual, if they look at quoting in the Bible and saying, "Well, this is an abomination."
You've never read the Bible, have you?
Well, did your people accept homosexuality? Did your Lutherans?
Yes, but we didn't put them into the ministry yet. The Episcopalians have, the Catholics have, but now the Lutherans are starting to reconsider. They're going to put women in there too.
Women and homosexuals.
Oh God, it's just so much, you know.
Well, every time you go to have a dialogue about that, if you're talking to, if there's too much condemnation, then you're going to have emotional reaction. and you're not going to be able to talk about it. And what happens in the middle of all this not talking, secrecy, suppression, is it helps create an atmosphere where a lot more molesting can go on. Why?
I don't know.
As far as I'm concerned, that's what happens. Nobody can talk about anything. They can't even talk about molesting. You know, it was just like, oh, we don't like that subject. Oh, that subject just disturbs us. You know, it's like anything that is disturbing, you want to brush it under the carpet. You don't want to deal with it. So
Really?
So you really don't even want to deal with your child's safety. You don't want to, if your child's not safe, you don't want to hear about it. And that's kind of the message I was getting. Don't tell me your troubles like that. Because we don't want to hear them, you know. It was like...
Well, I don't know. When I had the 6 kids, we had a babysitter. She was a female. And I'm guessing she was a teenager. Which would have to be.
Mm-hmm.
And the girls were, I don't know, 3, 4, maybe 4 or 5. And we came home one night and found that the girls were very upset because they had been molested. And totally. I mean, they didn't hiding anything. And then I found that she had brought some of her boyfriends over. They stole a brand new pair of shoes of mine, stole a brand new leather coat, and drank all the beer in the refrigerator. Now, what did I do about that? Well, I called the police on her. Yes, I called the police and pressed charges. And obviously I didn't hire her again. But I just don't understand. If I was a kid, I'd get molested, I wouldn't say anything. Anyway, that's your story.
Well,
that's your story, and you're sticking with it, right?
I think and I think there's boys that were molested and they would not tell for anything. I think girls are more apt to tell than boys. But if you can't even find this stuff out, why? What is the reason? Why won't the kids tell? Why didn't I tell? This was why, because you'd meet with such emotionalism, it was overwhelming. I mean, you couldn't get through it. You couldn't hear my dad, but why? Because here my dad was defensive about what he was doing, and so he wasn't stable. I can trust what he would, even after I'd been in the mental hospital, I couldn't talk to him about it. Because every time I tried to approach the subject, he would scream and holler, he wouldn't let me talk about it. So it's just like the emotional atmosphere surrounding you is what causes you, which could cause the molestation in the first place, is conducive to it, and then causes you not to talk about it.
You know what your problem was, or is?
What?
Remember that first time they wanted to give you the shock treatment and said, no, you're not taking it? You should have taken it.
Oh yeah, sure. Sure. Yeah, this is what I thought when I got in there. I said, I don't need shock treatment. This is what is wrong with me. I've had too many ugly shocks in my life. That's what's wrong with me. And here you want to give me some more. To me, shock treatment was more abuse. It was more abuse. It was not dealing with the problem. It was not talking about it. They didn't even care what kind of problem I had. Shock treatment would fix it. Well, how in the world can shock treatment fix something that's happened to you? What your culture has done, what you've seen. You know, it's like dialogue. Dialogue is necessary. The doctors don't have time to do it. They're going to rely on drugs, or they're going to they relied on shock treatment then, now it's drugs. So, as far as I'm concerned, the big need is for dialogue. That's why I'm talking about it.
I don't see anybody talking back.
Well, I hope this will stimulate some
And I hope
interest.
nobody, you don't tell them where we live or anything, do you?
No, I don't. I don't, because, you know, I've got so much, I have observed so much molestation. around me and had knowledge of it.